Tabu, it is a pleasure to be here in Mumbai with you. How are you?
Thank you. Always nice to speak to you, Haroon.
Tabu, it is always a pleasure because I have the fondest memories of coming to see you 10 years ago at your office, I think we were at, and you were
Yes.
the most lovely, the most warm, the most gracious host. And ever since then, you and I have been in touch. And to talk to you 10 years later and know that you are just as relevant, just as active, just as loved as 10 years ago, it makes me feel proud of
Thank
you.
you.
How do
Thank you.
you
Thank you so
feel?
much. It feels great. It feels, I mean, very satisfying. And that I have nothing to worry about anymore, you know. And to think that nobody can take it away from me, you know. It's a great feeling. Yeah, it makes you feel very sturdy inside, and also very grateful to for the love, and like you said, for being loved, and I know that that love and affection is so genuine, and it comes from the heart of people who love me, whether they know me or not personally. It comes like just unabashedly, I must say, and so spontaneously, that I really treasure that. It's Yeah, it's I think it's the greatest gift.
I see so much gratitude in your eyes.
Yeah.
I see so much humility in your eyes, thinking back to that love. How precious is that? You know, knowing that there are millions of people whose faces you've never seen, who
Yeah.
you maybe never met in real life, you've never spoken to,
Yeah.
knowing that your work has in some way impacted them.
Yeah.
How precious a feeling is that?
Uh, the thing is that I never set out for that. I never thought it'll come my way. And I never sort of engineered anything to get that, or I never manipulated myself in any way. But to just see like this sea of affection coming towards you, and you don't know for exactly for what thing or what factor it is that it's coming to you. Is it your work, is it the roles, is it the character? But I also believe that it's not possible that the kind of love people give somebody is only for their acting or for their roles. I'm sure, and I'm certain that there is something beyond the character that people see and that touches them.
What do you think that is?
Don't, it can be, I don't know, it could be the way you conduct yourself, it could be something that people relate to. But it is definitely something so powerful that it will go and reach another human being, and I think over a period of years, over time, it's not possible for anybody to keep it hidden, or to keep it, unexposed to people, whether you want it or not. Your essence, your persona, your inner world will somewhere go and touch people in some way. Maybe a few people, maybe many people, you don't know. But something, it's like something touches something, and something is created out of that spark. So I really don't know what it is, but I know for a fact that it is an emotion, and it is a feeling, and it's not just ke, oh, she was great in this film, or of course the characters also, but something about the characters has also gone and spoken to people.
I think it's a combination of so many
It
different
is.
things.
It is.
So for me, I think it is a combination of lots of different elements, which has really made you stand the test of time. And I think one of the reasons is your humility as an actor, your modesty as an actor. You're not somebody who does your own PR. You're not somebody who I see plastered everywhere at events. I don't see you turning up at every single red carpet event. I don't see you posting that my film has done this many crores and has done this. How important is it for you to hold back and let the work do the talking?
Um, I think also I I grew up in a generation that was not so vocal about what we were doing. Media was not so big. Social media was non-existent, and we were not in the practice and habit of promoting so much. So I think a huge part of it comes from there, but also it comes from the person I am. uh, I don't have it in me to go out of my way to exhibit something, and it can be anything, and it applies to my personal life also. I'm like that even in my relationships and in my life. I'm not like out there. It's a personality thing. But it's not also that I want to deliberately hold back or hide. It just does not come naturally to me to, be out there and be talking about myself. I mean, there is only so much that you can talk about yourself. It's not a very
You say that, but people find something to say, right? Those who want to do the PR, they
yeah,
find something to say, right? They'll find a way,
yeah.
and you don't. Even when, for example, Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2 becomes the highest grossing film of that year, or Crew becomes the highest grossing film with a female all-star cast, you're not the one who's posting that on social media. You're not the one who's going and doing a round of press interviews to celebrate that success. I wonder what that is, what the reason. I'm sure your publicists are telling you to do that.
I think I do it in an okay measure, but I will not go overboard, and I don't even go underboard. I like to have a correct measure of things.
So you have
You
good
know,
perspective. It's not like you're hiding away from your
no,
success.
not at all. Also, because see, once a film is successful, it's out there. I mean, I don't have to like declare the collections of a film in the media for people to know how much it's done. Yeah. The theater owners know it, the exhibitors know it, the producer definitely knows how much it's made. So, and it's nicer for you to hear it from people, and, for people to celebrate it, acknowledge it. But also, it's nice also for you to celebrate your success. And I think I do it in my own way. I think for me, more than anything, it's like a relief if the film is done well, and I feel happy for the producers, because I feel like after the dubbing is not dubbing, we don't dub anymore. After the promotions are over, after the release is over, if it's done well, then you sit back and say, okay, I did my bit, I did my job, and we worked well, and my presence in the film worked, and the producer is making money, and the director is enjoying the fact that his film or his her film is a success. And by virtue of being part of a successful film, if somebody is talking about the success of a film, just by virtue of being in it, you are going to be talked about.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so a film is always the actor and the director. बेचारे director के बारे में तो शायद फिर भी इतना नहीं बोलते हैं, but the actors are always spoken about when a film is being spoken about. So yeah,
I think it's this security as well, because that's what you're implying, is this security as an individual that you don't need to beat your own drum. You
yeah,
know?
because I also, Harun, I don't know what it does. Maybe if I knew that, if there's a huge like a takeaway from it, from doing all this, then maybe I would have done it. But I don't know the like
The value.
real value, yeah, in doing that.
What
you
I
know?
find incredible is that 10 years ago when we had met, we had so much to talk about, because there were films like Chini Kam, there was The Namesake, there was Life of Pi. Haider had just released, I think it had released just the year before we had met for the first time. I had never imagined that 10 years later when we would meet, that there would be such a huge catalogue since then. Truthfully,
Yeah,
whether that's
I know.
Andhadhun or Drishyam or now A Suitable Boy, and then June Prophecy, Crew, Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2. So many. There's so many that I could mention. How do you feel looking back at that repertoire of work?
Uh, Now it feels like a whirlwind. And like you said, I never expected it. I don't think I ever expected anything. I don't know if we ever expect anything, especially to imagine what would be, where would I be, where I would be 10 years later. I had no clue. But also, I think it because it has been such an organic process, especially in the phase that Andhadhun happened, Haider, then Andhadhun, and
Drishyam was,
Golmaal,
yeah, yeah,
Drishyam, De Pyar De, Drishyam 2,
yeah.
Bhul Bhulaiya, Crew. It was like Kutte, Khufia, all that.
Now you're remembering all
Yeah,
of them. You don't want to disappoint any of the producers or directors listening.
So, it, I don't know. I can just say that it was, looking back, I feel it was a very, very organic process. And I just feel like every few years there is some kind of churning and some kind of something happens, and then few really memorable films and something comes out of it.
Yes.
And then that becomes like some kind of vague, like a faint template, and till that becomes repetitive for me to do, and then I have to find something new, like a,
Like Crew was new.
Crew was very new for me.
Yes.
Crew was absolutely new. The format was new, the casting, the story, the just the zone of the film, and that's why it was interesting for people to watch. That's why,
I hope you won't mind me saying this because I mean it in the most respectful way possible. But Crew was sexy Tabu. And we had never imagined that we would see sexy Tabu in cinema, right? Like, let's be real about it.
Yeah.
The roles you were doing, the characters you were doing, they were amazing. They were full of substance. But who would have imagined in 2024 that a film would be made with 3 leading stars and all 3 of them would be presented in such a beautiful manner?
Yeah.
How refreshing and empowering was that for you as a woman in this profession?
I didn't look at it that way. I was because see, Ria, and that's Ria for you. I must give the entire credit of that whole, the presentation of the actors to Ria, because that's how she sees her actors and that's how she sees her characters. For her, beauty is very important. For her, glamour is important. For her, how a film is packaged and how an actor is presented is very important. And even though I could be, debating about it or being lazy about it, there is no way that you can escape that when you work with Riya Kapoor. There is no way. So you have to, at one point, submit to that process. And I submitted to it and I enjoyed it. And because I trusted her with that, because I know the kind of work she's done, and I know that this area you can't argue. I mean, you can trust her with that.
But it was refreshing for us as an audience
Yeah,
as well. We've seen you
yeah.
playing a cop. We've seen so much. But it was like, oh, I never thought that we would see Tabu like this on screen.
Yeah.
Did you feel that way when you watched the film?
I was feeling that even when I was on set. It was, I know that for people it would have been very different, because they've not seen me presented like this in a really long time. I mean, I've done characters that are sensual, that are sexual, and they have sex appeal, but really, like, physically being presented in a very, very, femininely glamorous manner, I must say.
Especially because Crew was not for a male gaze. The way it's made is not to sexualize you. It's very much to make you look empowered in your own being.
And that's not Ria's intention.
Yeah.
She is not interested in any gaze, and not even the directors, I must say, and the team. But this is how she thinks that her actors should be presented, in their best form, and highlighting their best features.
It was just great to see you standing on an aeroplane with the wind blower. When was the last time you were in a movie where they gave you the wind blower?
I know.
You deserve it, Tabu. You deserve it.
It was fun. It was really fun. It was crazy. Shooting Crew was a crazy experience, but it was a fun, crazy experience, and I'm glad it all worked out well. Also, I'm also very happy that the timing worked out well, because in films like these, it's very important, the integral part of doing a film like this, and that it works, is that the chemistry and the timing of all the actors who are in it needs to work well. And for that, I think Kareena, Kriti, and me, we had good timing. We
You
had
had
each
better
other.
than good. It was
Yeah.
excellent. It was excellent.
Yeah, so we were in a good rhythm and we got the jokes and we knew, so that worked very well. Yeah.
Do you think that do you think you could come across as intimidating to younger actors because you're so experienced in this field? And are you conscious of that when you work with newer stars, when you work with newer actors, say for example a Kiara or Karthik in a Bhool Bhulaiya, or with a Kriti? I mean, Kareena's very established, but with a Kriti in crew, are you wary of the fact that you're coming to the table with more experience than them, and that could be intimidating?
I don't know if they feel intimidated, and I don't think of all that. It's not important to me. But of course, I know that I am coming with more experience and just more years to my career. So I can't undo that
But I
understanding.
think because you're so warm and you're so genuine, it immediately makes them feel more comfortable. This is what Kriti told me herself, that, working with you was a delight, and watching you on set was a learning experience for her as well. How do you feel knowing that you are now almost like an acting masterclass for other people?
God, charge them money.
You should charge the money. You should say to the other two on the film, give me half your fee, because you're learning from me at the same time. University of Tabu.
Oh no, please. No, no, no. So, see, when you're working on a set, I don't think you can be anything but warm and, comfortable with each other, uh, because you are working in the parameters of the character, of what is given to you, and you are interacting as people also, right? So, I think somewhere everybody slowly gets comfortable with each other. There's always going to be when you've not known somebody. I mean, even if I work with somebody who I don't know, or whether they are junior or whether they are much senior than me, there's always the a newness to meeting new people. And then slowly, if you're fortunate, then it becomes comfortable. If you're not, then it becomes more uncomfortable.
And then do you still make it to the end of the film, or you're just like,
I have to, but I have no choice.
you've committed, you've signed the
I've
contract?
committed, I've signed the contract, and I just finish my work, because you're working with so many people, like hundreds and thousands of people. It's not possible that you'll have the same equation with everybody.
Has it
Yeah.
been a time where you've worked on a movie where genuinely you haven't enjoyed the experience, but the film has turned out outstanding, and you're
Many.
it's really and then just getting through the day becomes a little bit of a challenge?
It does, but sometimes I can't discern whether it's the film that I'm having like a challenge. It's I don't know, because I'm working hard. Because see, when you're at work, I don't think any one of us can be really relaxed and happy and all. It's not possible. When you're going to work, you are going with a set of, stressors and thinking about, okay, the work kaam acha hona chahiye and all that. So sometimes even that is, it tires you, na? It drains you, especially the kind of work actors put in.
Yeah.
You're appearing in front of the camera, you have like thousands of people on set looking at you, and you know that finally when this thing comes out, there are going to be lakhs of people looking at me. So I better be,
On your A game.
on your A game, and I better be at my best and not let anything slip. So even that is a stressor. So sometimes I think especially me, it takes me time to understand whether I'm having a bad experience with the people, or I'm just tired.
Oh, you're just
You know?
stressed, or you're
Or you're
exhausted.
still exhausted. I don't know. And it's just sometimes you can't separate one from the other. But sometimes you know that you're not aligning with somebody. you know, and you know when you're completely in sync with somebody. And sometimes you work with people who are a delight, and you want to work with them again and again and again, not just because they're great co-actors, but maybe you're having great conversations between shots. Maybe you've developed a friendship with them beyond the film, and sometimes you just develop relationships in which you just work and you come back.
Yeah,
So
you're done.
yeah,
See you
you're
later.
done. Yeah, yeah.
The-
So this is life, and fortunately or unfortunately, we meet so many people on a daily basis in our profession.
yeah.
You know that it's just amazing to be in this profession, and I don't know if it's easy for people who are not in this profession to understand, just the phenomena of just meeting hundreds of people every day.
Yeah, I can imagine. Even like the pressure of remembering people's names on set. It must be hard. Like when you're interacting with so many people.
Now I don't care.
You don't care. You
Now
just.
I don't put an effort. I pretend that I'm just learning my lines. Don't look at anybody.
I think one of the great things about you is that I feel like over the last 15 years, the Hindi film industry finally managed to catch up with your potential as an actor. And I think this is another reason why the audience loves you so much. At the start, we were trying to put a finger on exactly what it is. What is the magic of Tabu that has managed to connect with so many people? I think now finally it's because the filmmakers and the writers have caught up with your level of talent and are presenting you roles that you can
Yeah.
fully flesh out as well. Like
Yeah.
Andhadhun
Yeah.
is a deliciously evil character, right?
Yeah.
What a wicked woman. And you can completely delve into that and give it your everything. And then you can be equally lovable in something like a Giovanni Janiman. You're so free-spirited in that. How does it feel knowing that there's this range of characters and that actually finally you don't have to just do 3 songs or 4 scenes or whatever, and there's so
Right.
much more.
It did not happen overnight. And it's not like a revelation that directors had when they saw me, or uh looking back, it's difficult to see how the journey has turned out, and what has led to what has led to what, you know but if you like look back at individual instances, then you understand, okay, I was here at that moment, and this person was there at that moment, cinema was here at that moment, audiences was here at that moment, so you can,
Piece it together.
how you can sort of piece it together. Like I think Andhadhun, also because my body of work has been a certain quality or type. But it's not stereotype. I think the greatest advantage was that I escaped the stereotype
How?
completely. I don't know. I think because I was doing so many different things. I was doing such different stuff, that things that were so different from the other, that I don't think people got time to put me in a box, or they got the space, or I don't think they could, because I was doing such varied kind of work. I was working in the South, I'm still working in the South, to this, to that, to that. So I think the greatest thing, and I think that's the fundamental, uh, almost tangible quality that I can say that has been fantastic for me, has been that I have not gotten stereotype. And I think that always helped or encouraged filmmakers to look at me or to think of me in these kind of roles or characters. You know, I never saw myself as that one mold. Uh, I'm not that person. So maybe that somewhere translated into the kind of roles that I was being offered. And I was open to them, and I was giving it my all. And I think just the chemistry and the combination of this director, this character, me, and this co actor and this film was turning out to be so juicy and so nice,
Yeah.
you know. So, yeah, like like a Makbul or a Chinikam or a Haider or an Andhadhun or a Drishyam.
What a body of work,
So,
Tabu. Come on, when
thank
you
you.
hear you're saying those films, and I'm thinking you're talking about like the best of the best. It's not even
Thank
like
you.
we're talking about one or two good films. We're talking about like a huge catalogue of work. I do often think that the Virasats and the Astitvas and the Chandni Bars and the Makbuls led to this point in some
Yes,
way.
absolutely. I totally agree with you.
I can't quite put my finger on how, but something about those unique characters
Yeah.
in a landscape of very commercial cinema,
You use the correct, good word. Unique characters.
yeah, they were
Yeah.
unique. And I wonder, were you choosing those unique characters because that's where you were naturally drawn, or were you choosing those unique characters because that's what you were being offered? What was the kind of combination there?
I was being drawn. Of course, they were coming to me, and I was being drawn to them at the same time. But I did not, I could not have deliberated it because I could not have created these characters or gone to people and get these characters written. But luckily, when these characters were being written, when these films were being made, I was there. I was there in people's mind. And they came to me, and I just, like, something like a magnet drew me there. And I did them. And then we created something. And I think it has been created literally like a dish, all the ingredients and things came together, and then we had something. Uh also because people who are involved in the making of these films, me, my co-actors, my directors, producers, uh we was we were really creating it and not emulating it so much. It was not manufactured to suit something. It was not like a copy paste thing. So that's why I think that's the quality that these films have that make them stand out, really, like sort of templates.
I also think that at that time, you were very much a commercial actress. You weren't an art house actress, whatever that might mean. You were very much part of mainstream
Yeah.
Hindi cinema. And these were not typical choices to make
Yeah.
in the late 90s or early 2000s. This is around the same time that we're talking about the kind of Yash Chopra and Karan Johar era. That's what was working. That's what was kind of doing the business. Were you not tempted to just go full blown masala?
No. No. I knew I wanted to do this also. No, I did not see any, क्या बोलते हैं, hesitation. Nothing in me stopped me from doing these. Not at all. Because, I mean, I wanted to like create from a space of literally like putting myself out there and my heart there. And I saw these characters as being able to give me that kind of platform, that kind of space. And
Even at that time, you had that perspective.
yes, absolutely.
For me, obviously, I still also love the Tabu of Hum Saath Saath Hai, and I also still love the Tabu of Jeet, and I still love the Tabu of Vijay Path, and
Sure.
that's also.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, there is no discrimination. You can't. I mean, when you're, for me at least, uh, I have not had any sense of like direct discrimination about good, bad, right, wrong, rule number one, rule number two, nothing like that.
Even with those films and those songs that I just mentioned, I also think there's an element of you said you were at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
It was a combination of all these different elements coming together. But do you think it's also because you never really took a break? You kind of worked throughout.
Yeah.
Many of your contemporaries from the 90s, they did take long breaks. And I think
Yeah.
there is definitely an impact of being out of sight, out of mind in this industry as well. Do you feel that? Do you feel because you never took a break that made you be that gave you the opportunity to be in the right place at the right
It's
time?
possible. It's possible. We cannot not look at that factor.
it's so
Yes.
hard to identify, right? Because what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to solve the mystery of Tabu's success.
Don't try.
Which is
Let it be.
it's like a bit of an enigma because I think okay, hey, if Tabu had done the Dil To Pagal's Hai and the Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, if she had done those, would she be able to do? Would she have ever been thought of in a Makbul or a Haider? If she had taken a long break, like some people did, would she ever have managed? Because others haven't managed to. Others haven't managed to, and it's with no disrespect to them whatsoever. They're
Yeah.
very, very talented
Yeah,
individuals.
and everyone has lived according to their choices and priorities, So, yeah, I don't know if we can break it down, but also there are some people have some elements, some people have some elements. It's like an ocean that you're trying to understand. Okay, you don't know what works, you don't know what does not work. Sometimes some actors fit some characters so beautifully that you cannot imagine the film with any other actor. No, I think it's the magic of the moment for lack of anything else. वो कुछ हो जाता है, मैजिक हो जाता है और वो क्रिएट हो जाता है. Yeah, I mean, also I think they were very original. That's why they stand out.
Yeah,
And
they can't be replicated.
yeah, even in those, I mean, whenever those films were happening, they were very original.
Yeah.
And for me, I think I get a little bored and put off by things that have like a repetitive style, a repetitive form, predictable format.
So that must mean that Hindi cinema is really boring for you right now, because right now, after this last few years of really varied content, I feel a bit bored. As a viewer, I'm a bit bored. I'm like, what's going on? What's new? Where's the freshness? I'll be really honest with you,
Yeah,
Tabu, and
sure,
we're on camera. It's all a little bit stale right now, and I don't know why.
So maybe I have also been thinking about many things, not just your question, but I also feel that we have seen so much. We have seen so much material. We have seen so much cinema. We have seen so much television. We have seen so much OTT. Now we are seeing social media. So there is like an exhaustion, I feel they can be. Also because cinema is also like 100 years old. And, I mean, how new can you be in the mechanics of it or in the format of it? फिल्म तो वही होगी, बिगनिंग होगा, वो टाइटल्स आएंगे, फिर एक कहानी होगी, इंटरवल या तो होगा या नहीं होगा, फिर वो दी एंड हो जाएगी.
Yeah.
There will be a hero, there will be an heroine, sometimes there will not be an heroine, sometimes whatever. There are so many stories that मतलब इतने ही कहानियां हैं और हम 100 साल से 10 लाख फिल्में बना चुके हैं. We have seen so much. So I think there is a need to, I don't know, I mean, I'm sure it must be so difficult for people also to think of something new that people have not seen. We have seen so much, और आई थिंक इतना इतना वक्त जब हो जाता है एक कोई भी क्रिएटिव फील्ड को, तो कई सारी चीज़ें रेफरेंस लगने लगती है.
Yeah.
It's not possible for anything to be absolutely something that nobody has seen.
Nothing is 100% original.
Nothing. Like, you have seen, Arey yaar, okay, you've seen this, you've seen that. And because so much is happening, everybody is making something or the other. So, I just, like you said, I just feel little bored of predictability. But I think original stuff to do, to see, to create from your own self is a challenge, especially if you have an audience that, like, see, if you talk about audience that is like 35 to 40 years old or 40 to 50 years old and all that, they have been watching movies since the past like 30 years.
Yeah.
इतना कुछ देख लिया, अब वही होने वाला है. So I don't know what is new anymore.
Well, I hate to put this burden on you, but this is your responsibility.
Thank
Be-
you.
because because for the last 15 years at least, you have been the kind of you've been part of every movement of newness, right? Heather was so new
Yeah.
when it released, and then Andhadhun was so new when it released, and then more recently even Bhool Bhulaiya 2,
Yeah.
it was new,
For me, to see me like that.
to see you, but even as a genre.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah, yeah.
of course, there's so many horror comedies. You're doing one as another one
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
But generally speaking, you have been part of the wave of newness every time. So give us something new, Tabu. Give us something.
I'm not the director, I'm not a producer. I'll have to you'll have to tell the producers and directors to write something original,
Okay.
to write something new.
Yes.
You know?
Something that's worthy of your talent as well.
Something with novelty. Like you, because you mentioned Bhool Bhulaiya too, because it was a novelty for people to see me like that.
Yes. Yes.
You know, they have seen me okay in a certain way. They've not seen me like this, like a bhoot, like a this, like a double role, doing this, that. So that's novel, you know. But we hai, I mean, something novel has to come. I mean, but that does not mean that if that does not come, you don't work, because आपको predictable चीजें भी कभी कभी करनी पड़ती है और करना भी चाहिए, you know, for you to
Do you
appreciate.
enjoy it? The predictable stuff?
I try to convince myself and I try to interpret it in my own manner.
Like, okay,
I try to find like a deep intellectual spin to it
you can't
for myself.
You can't intellectualize De Pyar there, okay? It's a fun, easy, breezy, simple.
No, you could. The second half of De Pyar De was very, very, I think, it
morally
was
ambiguous.
also because it was a big statement, I feel, you know, for I mean, I don't remember something like this being attempted.
Yeah.
You know, ex-husband, present girlfriend, and the relationship that Ajay and I shared. I think it was very fresh and very new.
Yes. It's a fun commercial film.
Okay.
And it's okay to do that sometimes as well.
Yeah, it's absolutely okay. I mean, we have to get the audience in, right?
Yes.
I mean, and that's why I think I escaped the stereotype, because I don't think of things as ये अच्छा है, ये बुरा है, ये करना चाहिए, ये नहीं करना चाहिए. And we are making films for an audience. We are not making it to just sit in our living rooms and enjoy and praise each other. It's
imagine if that was the case. You're just making films for you and the director, and that's it.
Very easy. But somebody is putting 500 crores, 200 crores and all that. You better make them the money back.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you will not even get work.
You know, I think what you do very well is you work in this space, you work in this industry, and then every few years you go to the West and you have a taste of blood. And I think that's what it is. What does that do for you as an artist when you go and do a Dune Prophecy, or you go and do a Suitable Boy, or you go and do a Life of Pi or a Namesake? What does it do for you as an artist?
As a person, because the person will affect the artist. For me, these are personally transformative experiences, and that is the exact reason why I'm drawn to them, and that is my biggest takeaway from these experiences, that I meet a completely new set of people who I have not known before this experience, because here I know almost everybody. I mean, except the newer actors who I've never worked with, but everybody is familiar. Everybody has a recall value, good or bad. So, working outside India gives me that opportunity to be in a space that I am completely unfamiliar with, and people who I don't know at all, who don't know me personally. They know who I am, but they don't know me personally. And it is the greatest क्या बोलते हैं, nourishment for me to work with new minds, to interact with new minds, be in a creative space that I don't know of previously, and to absorb and just to live that whole experience is what also affects the artist in me, also changes something about the way I work, I'm sure, because there is no way that you can have a new experience and be unchanged after it. You know, and it is so new and it is so completely divorced from where you live, and I just look forward to these experiences more than the professional side of it. It's the entire, you know, personal and the social and all those dynamics that really make a like an indelible mark on me. And every project has done that for me. The projects that you spoke about, the namesake was life changing, Life of Pi was life changing, Suitable was life changing, and now Dune. And you meet new people and you carry them with you, you know, and you're just you don't know who you're going to meet. You don't know what you're going to imbibe, or you don't know, you know, you might just meet people who become your friends for life.
You know, when I mentioned all of those, your face lit up. There was a glow to your face, and clearly it is a nourishing experience for you. But when
Yeah,
those experiences are so fulfilling,
yeah.
do you ever come back to Mumbai and question, what am I doing here?
No, no, uh, no. I want to have a space for everything that exists in my life right now. There is no deletion. There is cannot. I mean, some things will fall off automatically. Like for all of us, I'm sure as we evolve and as we progress, there are some things that will fall off. You will keep adding, but it's not. No, I want to have a part of everything and still have new experiences and still be ready for them and open to them.
This is such a beautiful conversation for me. The fact that I'm sitting in front of somebody who is so accomplished and who is so fulfilled in their life, and I can see that when you're speaking. There's a genuineness with which you're speaking, where I feel every word of what you're saying,
Thank you.
and I think it comes from a very lived, full, complete life of somebody who's defied so many stereotypes, defied so many notions in this industry. I mean, let's not beat around the bush. Ageism is a thing in this industry. People
Oh.
don't think that female actors will last beyond 40 in this
Oh.
industry. And here you are going for so many years, and with so many years ahead of you as well, inshallah, you will keep going and keep going.
Thank you.
How does it feel knowing that you have shaped in many ways what the career of a Hindi film actress can look like?
I have.
I just mentioned all the reasons why.
I uh, I didn't plan it. Definitely, you can't plan these things. You cannot. You cannot plan to become what you're saying I am. It's, I think it's taken a while, and it's taken a lot of work, and it's taken a lot of heart and soul, and 10 lakh factors. I still don't know it. I mean, if you say that, then
You know
it's a
it's
huge.
true. You know it's true. Come on, you know it's true. How many other people do you see around you who can say, all the things we've spoken about over the last half hour? How many other people are there who I could say all of this about? I probably not many. Let's be realistic.
Thank you. I'm glad. I'm glad I was able to do that. To, I mean, to leave some kind of example or remark. And if any of the newer actors or the generation can, can benefit out of that, it'll be great. It'll really be great, because yeah, I mean, that's again a form of love, right? When people think of you like that. So I mean, I just have my entire journey to give credit to, and everybody who is part of that journey and will keep being part of my journey and keep being part of my the process of evolving, you know, process of evolving, and I don't want to ever stop evolving as a person. I know it's a very very cliched sentence, but really your insides, I don't want my internal world to stop evolving. I would hate it, and I would find it very, very suffocating and limiting to be in an atmosphere, an environment where my inner world cannot grow. And even if I find it difficult, I will find a way to, elbow out some space for my growth. And I just don't want that to stop. And I will always, always collaborate with people who help me do that, uh, even if not consciously, but just by being with them and just by being witness to my journey and witness to my growth. I want to have those people around me.
What a beautiful note to end this on. Tabu, I'm leaving you with the responsibility of giving us a new wave now of Hindi cinema.
Now you watch.
You do it. If anybody can do it, you can do it. Tabu,
you.
thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Haroon. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming down. And next time, call me to Liverpool.
To Liverpool, to London, to all the places.
London, Liverpool. We'll go in the studio, the big BBC studio.
The big one there, 100%. Tabu, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's always so wonderful to speak to you, Haroon. And I must say, I'm not just saying it because you're here. See, the quality of an interview depends so much on the person who's interviewing and on their intentions and on their essence, and I cannot thank you enough for being this person, really, because an actor will just respond and react to what is being asked and with what intention, like I said. So
you're very, very kind. Thank
always
you.
so pure, your intention.
Thank you. Likewise.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Tabu. Thank you.